In this next session, we will listen to a few testimonies, just a few among the many within the EoF community and beyond. They offer a glimpse of the economic vision we are trying to build, a vision that seeks to give a new soul to the economy.
3 speakers will now come to the stage, one at a time, with other ones joining tomorrow. They will share their stories, their experiences, their ideas. And in the end, each will leave us with a question meant to help every one of us discern our own small contribution to a renewed economy.
Between each testimony, we will pause just for a brief moment and make silence. This is a way for us to receive what we've heard and to prepare our hearts for what comes next. A simple procession of voices that continue to inspire and guide us.
And with this spirit, we hope these testimonies will help us believe that a new economy is not only possible, it is already taking shape.
So we now welcome our 3 speakers for the first part of Prophetic Voices for a New Economy.
Hola, my name is Erika Rumiche Hernández. I come from Lima, Peru, and today I will share my prophetic story dedicated to action. Since I was a child, I felt a deep curiosity for nature. My grandmother nurtured that curiosity through her stories. She grew up in rural areas surrounded by life and fertile soil, while I grew up in the city among concrete and noise. Through her, I learned to love places I have never seen and to feel connected to forests that were far from my own neighborhood. Everything changed the day I saw in the news showing the disappearance of the Pastururi Glacier in Peru. That glacier, once majestic and white, had begun to show a new color, the brown of exposed rock. The ice was melting at great speed. That image marked me deeply. Something inside me awakened. I soon learned that this tragedy was the result of climate change and increasing of greenhouse gas emissions. I was only 10 years old, but at that moment, I made a promise to myself. I will act, I will protect and conserve what is disappearing. I will study environmental engineering and work to reduce the damage humanity is causing. Years later, after becoming a professional, I joined Green Initiative, where I now coordinate carbon management and ecological restoration projects, including the process that led Machu Picchu, one of the 7 wonders of the modern world, to achieve carbon neutrality. The initiative I want to share is for its friends, a web application developed by a wonderful multidisciplinary team at Green Initiative. In essence, Friends Fresh empowers people and organizations to support meaningful restoration projects that create lasting benefits for nature and communities. We were to catalyze a regenerative economy, one where ecosystem recovery becomes the foundation for long-term capital development. Forest Friends allows students, families, travelers, or companies to measure their carbon footprint and reduce it by supporting ecosystem restoration through the planting of scientifically selected native trees. Every tree species is chosen not only for carbon capture potential, but for ecological and social significance. Forest Friends is more than an application web. It is a bridge between knowledge and transformation. Through the educational programs of SIPA, or Regenerative Tourism Experience, nearly 10,000 trees have already been planted, strengthening biodiversity and long-term climate resilience. Now we aim to expand the project globally through alliances with organizations, governments, and companies, so that action for nature becomes an accessible and shared possibility for all. Forest Friends embodies a prophetic vision because it responds to a profound sign of our time, the broken relationship between humanity and nature. We live in an economy that measures growth through extraction rather than regeneration, through short-term gains rather than long-term collective well-being. Forest Friends challenges that model by reminding us that true prosperity begins when we act, care for, and repair what sustains life. In line with the Economy of Francesco, this project places people, purpose, and the planet at the center. It democratizes climate action, making it accessible to everyone. Turning abstract concepts, such as carbon or biodiversity, into something tangible. Relational and deeply human is part of its prophetic strength. Forest Friends anticipates a paradigm in which technology brings us closer to the nature instead of distances, where environmental responsibility is not a burden but a shared joy, where every action, no matter how small, becomes a seed of hope. It also challenges the idea that the climate crisis is too large for individual action. It reveals a different truth. Systemic change begins when personal stories converge in a shared purpose. Each tree planted is a declaration of care. Each person measuring their carbon footprint chooses humility. Each restored ecosystem reminds us that we were never meant to walk alone. We are living in a decisive moment. There are advances and achievements, but the truth is that the earth continues to warm. Wildfires are increasing. Glaciers keep melting. Desertification expands. There are industries that still do not wish to change the status quo. That is why we must do more. We must act. Forest Friends matters today because it shows that another path is possible, a path rooted in community, care, and shared responsibility for our common home. It calls us to move from intention to action, from awareness to transformation, and remind us that no contribution is too small when it comes from love and becomes part of a collective movement. My story is not extraordinary. It is a simple one among many. But it is a reminder that change often begins with a question, an intuition, the decision to act for what we love. Even now, standing here in Castel Gandolfo, I still ask myself, why me? Why this calling? Why at this particular moment? Sometimes I wonder why this fire to act has lived inside me since such a young age. But then a deeper question arrives, one that has accompanied so many people who wanted to change the world. If not me, who? If not now, when? And if not this way, how? These questions continue to shape my path to act. The future is not predetermined. The future is written by decisions we make today. And I am convinced that together we can achieve a nature and climate positive future for all. This was my story. This was my prophetic experience to help restart the economy. I would like to leave you with a question. How will you work through action to support the new economy we are already building? Thank you very much.